What is up, you guys? I hope everybody is having a great day. Guess what? Super Bowl is fastly approaching us. So, you know what that means. We gotta get some game day recipes, some game day snacks, all of it. And one recipe that I had in mind were nachos. Now, me working in the accounting fields, working 6 days a week, I only have one day to prep, less than a day actually, to prep something for game day. Actually, I am going over to a friend's house and I have about, I don't know, like 4 hours or so to prep something quick, easy, cost effective, and actually can feed a whole room, to be honest, with the massive amounts of different appetizers and stuff that are there. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and go through the recipes. Boom! Such a loser. Oh! So for today's recipe, you need the following ingredients. Your favorite bag of corn or flour chips. I chose corn because I have some gluten allergy friends and I'm making this recipe gluten-free. So any flour or corn chips of your choice. The next star of the show is your ground turkey. I decided to go with more of a lean cut rather than a fattier cut. We're trying to make this a little bit healthier, a little bit less fat, less salt. So I chose ground turkey, but you can go ahead and make many different renditions of this. You can do ground beef, you could do pulled pork, which hands down, probably my favorite nacho combination. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a pulled pork rendition of these nachos. Steak is pretty fire as well. So you can make all different assortments with different types of meats. I chose turkey because we're keeping it on the healthier side. Taco seasoning, I chose 30% less sodium because between the chips, the cheese, many other different aspects to this recipe, there's going to be a decent amount of salt, so I'd rather less salt, and then if it's not salty enough, I can always add rather than having too much and taste like you're eating the ocean. 1 red onion, 1 canned corn, which this canned corn has no salt added, a tub of sour cream, 1 lime, 1 can of black beans, and your jalapeno pepper. There is one final ingredient, and I almost forgot to mention it because I'm not really a fan. I actually have the gene that makes this taste like soap, but some cilantro to garnish. Grated cheese, I chose the taco blend, which is cheddar, manchego, and Colby Jack. All right, guys, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. While the oven is preheating, let's go to the stove top and let me show you what we're going to do with our ground turkey. All right, guys, so what we're going to do is we are turning the stove top to a medium-high heat, and then we are going to be dumping our ground turkey into our pan. We'll let this heat up a bit. All right, so now that the turkey is heating up in the pan, the whole goal is to cook out this turkey until it is like a crumbly texture and like a brown, and that's how you know it's cooked. So once this is cooked, I will show you the next step. All right, guys, I have a disposable baking pan because I'm sure that I will no longer need this after tonight, and it's just easy cleanup. So while our turkey is cooking on the stove, let's go ahead and start preparation on the nachos. So we're gonna take our corn chips and we're gonna start layering. Did not realize I was gonna use the whole bag, but we're gonna start layering our tortilla chips. what I'm gonna actually do, make sure that we're getting every nook and cranny of this, because it is important. Like, I would hate having a dry nacho. We're just gonna go ahead and pour our cheese on top, just to make sure that every nacho has a cheese layer on it. I'm just gonna give it a little shake around. I made sure that it's spread throughout. My hands are washed, by the way. Once that is done, once the turkey's done and all the additional seasonings and stuff, I will show you the next step. All right, guys, our turkey meat is to the point of being done. So now we're going to add the additional ingredients in here. So the first thing that we're going to be adding to this are black beans, which I washed. I got all the liquid off of the black beans. You can choose to leave it. I know that it's for flavor, but I just decided to wash them just for consistency. All right, now that we got the beans in there, next thing that we're going to do is that we are going to take some lime and some lime zest. Let's turn this down so it doesn't dry up and burn. All right, so now we're gonna just do little grinds. Let me just take off this sticker here, and just enough so you can get it throughout the whole lime. I am smelling this fragrance of the lime zest. It smells amazing. So you're gonna wanna get around. I have an older grater, so it's gonna take some power to get through, but you can put as much zest to your desire and your liking. Just be very careful so you don't grate your hand, because there was a time where I was grating cheese and my finger got caught, but that's a story for another day. So this is gonna take a bit, but you want to get, you know, just enough to get that lime flavor in there. Okay, so I think that we just have about enough. A little trick, let me just get the remainder of this zest into the pan. Okay, great. Let's give this a little mix. It smells great, guys, and I didn't even add all the seasonings yet. Okay, now let's take our lime, cut it in half, but before, let's roll it out so we get the juices flowing. Get that lime juice in there. So you're gonna wanna squeeze a whole lime. If you have a juicer, great, you can get the full thing of the lime. I'm just gonna squeeze as much as I can until, you know, there's no more juice. All right, you guys, now that we have this cooking, now we're gonna add our taco seasoning. So you can choose your level of desire and spice. Personally, I like it spicy, but the people that are gonna be attending tonight, not so much. You're gonna add the full spice packet in here. You're gonna wanna mix it enough to get this coated. So different ways that you can add the spice to it. You can add, what's it called? You can add cayenne pepper, chili pepper, pretty much however to your desire. Should have left the bean juice in here. It's looking a little dry. Let me just add a little bit of water in here, just so we can spread out the seasoning packet. But as I was saying, guys, you can use any type of seasoning. I have all the spices at home, but I just figured it'd just be a lot easier to gather a spice packet from the store. And you're gonna wanna mix until you see pretty much all of your turkey covered with the taco seasoning mix. All right, guys, so let me finish this up and then I'll show you the next step. All right, you guys, so now that our turkey is done, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to be spreading our turkey bean seasoning mix all around the nachos. You want to get a hearty layer. Oh yeah. Make sure you get everything. All is well. These are definitely going to be some messy nachos, guys, so be prepared. Now that we got our turkey spread, the final thing before we put this bad boy in the oven is that we are going to be adding our corn. Okay, we're going to just put this on top. Okay, I think that's done enough. Okay, we're going to spread this on top. And the next step, guys, is that we are going to be putting this in our preheated oven for about 5 to 7 minutes until the chips turn brown and the cheese is melted. So stay tuned. All right, you guys, so while the nachos are in the oven cooking, we're going to get our garnishing stuff ready next. So the first thing that we're going to be cutting is our red onion. Just be very, very careful because I know I am a offender when it comes to crying from cutting an onion. So yeah, wear your goggles or whatever, and the waterworks are starting. So I would say, because we aren't really onion people, I'm probably going to use a half of onion, but if you are a diehard onion fan, you can go ahead and cut the full thing and use it. So what I'm going to do is that we're going to get it in dicing pieces because, like I said, we're going to use this as a garnish. And we are going to be putting this on top. Let's just peel the outer layers first before we start. Throw out all these different scraps, and let's go ahead and start cutting this bad boy. All right. I would say the best way to go about it is that you cut it in half and you cut really thin pieces. Just be very careful as the blade gets closer to your hands so you don't cut it. And what you're going to do is, I'm just going to do a rough chop, just enough where you'll get small pieces, big pieces, just about enough to, like I said, garnish the nachos. This is the consistency that we are looking for here. So I am going to take this and put this on my garnish plate over here. Put that there. Okay. And let me go ahead and wash the cutting board and the knife, and we'll go ahead and start chopping our jalapeno. Next, guys, we have the jalapeno. What we're going to do is that we're going to cut off the end with the little stem. That's garbage. And then we are going to be doing little nickel slices because we are just gonna sprinkle them on top. You want them big enough because this is probably the only spice factor when it comes to these nachos. And I love spice, but there are some people that don't particularly love it. So, you know, if you can just work around it and pick around it, the bigger the pieces, the easier it's gonna be. So we have the jalapeno slices. And then finally, we are going to my worst enemy, which is, in fact, cilantro. But the world is everyone's oyster. It's either black or white. You either like cilantro or you don't. So, but we are going to be using this as a garnish. Yep. And we're just going to pick apart some of the branches here. Perfecto. We have cilantro flying around everywhere. This is my messy kitchen. Perfect. So now, when you get to that point where you have your cilantro pieces, you're just gonna, honestly, in my opinion, because I don't like cilantro, I'm not gonna finely chop it. I'm just gonna rough chop it, just enough for me to sprinkle on top, and then whoever wants additional can more than happily serve it themselves. All right, guys, so now that we have the garnishes ready, let's go ahead and take our nachos out, and I will show you a panorama of it. All right, guys, our nachos are out of the oven. Let's go ahead and garnish this with all of our garnishes here. Guys, this looks amazing. And now I'm just going to, you know, make it really pretty with the jalapenos. Sprinkle this on top. The cilantro flew. Go ahead. And perfect. Put that leafy greens on top here. Put that color there. Okay, you guys, it is time for a close-up of this. Look how this turned out. I am so impressed with myself. Top chef over here. Look at me go. All right, guys, on to the best part. So, guys, I have my piece of nacho here. And I made sure to have a little bit of everything on it. I have the sour cream, the jalapeno, the corn, beans, turkey mix. I'm going to wait until I'm at my friend's house to put the sour cream on top, only because it is still hot and I don't want the sour cream to just melt and look disgusting. So just for full effect how this works, I put a little sour cream on top. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and try this. If you want something so simple, so easy, so quick, this is the way to go. You get the taste of the turkey, the beans, the spiciness of the jalapeno, the crunchiness. The number one letdown when it comes to nachos is when they've been sitting for too long, the nachos just start becoming soggy and gross and they just break apart. I guarantee, and I'm telling you, that with these nachos, you will not have this problem. So I'd say go ahead, make this, and make your own different renditions. Let me know what renditions you have made with these in the comments section. So with that being said, guys, I hope everybody has an amazing Super Bowl weekend, and let me know, send me pictures how this came out. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye, guys.